Triple H takes the World Championship off Gunther, the best and worst of WWE Raw. Rhea Ripley's current feud with Nia Jax is so ridiculous. An update on Corey Graves. Uncle Howdy's WWE future leaked. Cody Rhodes opens up about an unscripted moment after Raw. Triple H did not know about CM Punk's offensive line about a WWE legend on Raw. CM Punk confirms when he will call in Paul Heyman's favor. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw. WWE touted Raw's move to Netflix, but all three offerings on the new platform have had big hits and misses. The first show trotted out as many celebrities and legends as possible, but arguably had no shock returns or debuts. The second episode had the excellent debut of Penta and Lyra Valkyria, becoming the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Championship. With the second edition of Saturday night's main event coming up, WWE tried to tie a bow on Raw's part of the card. Rhea Ripley will defend her newly won title against Nia Jax at the event. The third episode on Netflix was probably the biggest mixed bag of the three. Here's the best and worst of Raw. Number 1, best. Great promos from Gunther and CM Punk. This week's Raw kicked off with Jey Uso coming to the ring. He tried to cut his usual promo but was cut off by Gunther. Gunther called him out for trying to stand alone, but not doing so the second Roman Reigns or his family pulled him back in. He also called WWE's mascot, which Jey gladly accepted since he considered the fans his team. CM Punk cut a promo of his own from the crowd, stating his desire to win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania. He name-dropped the stars he's beaten that have declared for the match: Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. He also mentioned Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and calling in his favor if needed. His best line was saying he'd throw Hulk Hogan's dusty rear out of the ring if he decided to show up. Number 2, best and worst. Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. After both women fell short in the Women's Intercontinental title tournament, Damage Control's Sky and Dakota Kai returned to tag action against the Pure Fusion Collective. The match was good, with Sky, Kai, and Zoe Stark providing great spots throughout the contest. The problem is that neither team gains anything with a win. Kai and the Genius of the Sky were victorious, but have beaten them so much that it's boring. Stark is getting bogged down in the group that has much more bark than bite. Number 3, best. Penta versus Pete Dunn. While the episodes of Raw on Netflix have been mixed bags of good and bad, Penta's booking on the last two shows hit the bullseye. His match with Chad Gable was one of the best offerings WWE has had so far in 2025. The former Impact World Champ followed up his debut with another solid showing against Pete Dunn. Dunn and Gable are two of the best technicians in wrestling, so it's given Penta top-tier opponents to make him look good. They've done just that, but also put up a great fight against the newcomer. Dunn warped Penta's fingers, and Penta sold the damage. If this keeps up, he should be in a title picture on Raw sooner rather than later. Number 4, best and worst. Bayley gets a new start on Raw and immediately loses. Bayley is the biggest name to move to Raw during the random transfer window introduced over the last month. After crashing last week's show, Bayley showed up on NXT, faced Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown, and then lost to Nia Jax on Raw. That means Bayley has lost her last 3 singles contests to the Annihilator. She fell at SummerSlam, Bad Blood, and now on Raw. It was all to set up a match for Rhea Ripley at Saturday night's main event. Jax lost to Mommy at the Elimination Chamber last year. The match could have ended via disqualification, with Ripley attacking Jax to return the favor for an ambush before Raw. Number 5, worst. What are the rules? WWE made a huge deal of the transfer window to play up how certain stars could shift brands due to Raw's big debut on Netflix. Braun Strowman moved to SmackDown, and Bayley has come back to Raw. It was essentially an excuse for every star involved in War Games to show up on either show after the event concluded. If WWE had provided an end date for the roster movement ploy, it'd make more sense. Instead, it feels lackluster at this point, with stars randomly showing up on the brand they don't belong to. Involving NXT has also muddled up the field. Number 6, best. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, friends forever. Kevin Owens embarked on a quest for revenge ever since Cody Rhodes ignored his feelings to team up with Roman Reigns. He gave Randy Orton a chance, but the Viper had more loyalty to Rhodes than Owens. Owens is still upset with every Bloodline member who blindly fell behind Reigns after he returned at SummerSlam. He's expressed his anger by attacking everyone, except Sami Zayn. The former Universal Champion said he gave Zayn more slack than others because they have been brothers for years. He also wasn't as mad at Zayn because he'd forgiven Owens in the past, was a good person, and was allied with Roman at one point. Rhodes battled the OG Bloodline for months, and then didn't hesitate to join the head of the table against Solo Sikoa. Owens also planted the seed that Zayn should start looking out for himself. He wished his friend the best and hoped he'd win the Royal Rumble so they could face each other at WrestleMania 41. Number 7, worst. An underwhelming match between two WWE veterans. The New Day was supposed to face Rey Mysterio and a partner a few weeks ago. The match turned into Rey versus Kofi Kingston, with Xavier Woods coming out with Kingston. The LWO didn't accompany Mysterio for the match. The group's inconsistency with what it does and doesn't do led to Rey not having backup against the New Day. Woods predictably interfered, but was ejected. Mysterio won, but his backup came way too late. What's the point of the LWO if they don't regularly back each other up? The match quality was also extremely disappointing. Both men are longtime veterans, but Rey slipped a few times and they had to copy the planned spot just to get it in. Number 8. Best and worst. A WrestleMania rematch falls short. Perhaps it was the stage of the show of shows, but Seth Rollins' battle with Drew McIntyre in the main event didn't feel as big as it should have. The two had a great title match last April, and both men were respectful after McIntyre won. The rematch on Raw had some great spots and counters. Both men also share feelings about the bloodline, but have dealt with it in different fashions. Seth picked up the win. McIntyre continued the assaults after the match, but Zayn prevented the Scottish Warrior from inflicting more damage. The situation feels like another step for either Zayn or Rollins to eventually turn heel. Bookers want to sow discord between the two, since Zayn hit Rollins with a hell of a kick. Rollins does know how to rewind, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Rhea Ripley's current feud with Nia Jax is so ridiculous. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo recently spoke about Rhea Ripley's segment on Raw. The star is the current Women's World Champion on Raw. 40-year-old Nia Jax was in a match against Bayley this week. She destroyed her opponent with the Annihilator, taking home the win. After the encounter, Rhea charged to the ring, leading to a huge brawl between the two women after Jax attacked Ripley earlier in the night. This led to Mommy putting her title on the line against Jax at Saturday night's main event. This week on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, Russo criticized the segment, calling it predictable. He pointed out that the brawl was initiated to pit these two stars in a match at Saturday night's main event. The veteran writer claimed there was no way Nia would dethrone Rhea at the show. It's so ridiculous. So, Nia Jax attacks Rhea Ripley so they can make the match for Saturday night's main event. And we know they're not taking the belt off Rhea Ripley. He continued, "This is so predictable. There is nothing on this show." With Saturday night's main event less than a week away, it will be interesting to see if Rhea can hold on to her title heading into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season. An update on Corey Graves. Corey Graves' future in WWE remains uncertain at the moment after he publicly vented his frustration about being moved to NXT commentary in now-deleted tweets. He has been absent from WWE television for the past couple of weeks, and now his status for this week's NXT has been revealed. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, Corey Graves is not scheduled to be at the January 21st episode of WWE NXT, which will take place at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. After missing the January 14th episode of WWE NXT, Corey Graves was also notably absent from the January 15th episode of WWE Speed. He was last seen as part of the NXT commentary team during the New Year's Evil special on January 7th, but his current future in the company is unknown, despite the fact that a return to the main roster remains a possible option for him. Earlier reports indicate that Corey Graves' frustrations are legitimate, and WWE was unhappy with how the situation played out and how it was portrayed in the media. As of now, there is no clear sign of when he will return to WWE television, and it remains to be seen how long his absence will last, as fans are concerned his time with WWE might be coming to an unfortunate end. What are your thoughts on Corey Graves' current situation with WWE? Do you believe this is part of a storyline, or are there underlying issues at play? Uncle Howdy's WWE future leaked. Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six's sudden absence from WWE TV has become a topic of discussion among fans. Last night on Raw, we learned an important update on their immediate future. The Wyatt Six were recently embroiled in a months-long feud with the Final Testament. On the December 9th episode of Raw last year, Karrion Kross, The Miz, and the Authors of Pain pulled off an upset victory over the Wyatt Six in an 8-man tag team match. A few weeks later, The Miz faced Dexter Lumis in a singles match, which ended in a disqualification after the Final Testament caused interference. The Wyatt Six members managed to fend off their rivals that night without Uncle Howdy's help. Last week on Raw, Karrion Kross came out of Adam Pearce's room and informed The Miz that the Wyatt Six had been moved to SmackDown via the transfer window. The Doomwalker confirmed this again when Jackie Redmond interviewed him and his wife Scarlett in the midst of the WWE Universe last night on Raw. Kross said Howdy is gone from Raw, signaling the end of their rivalry in an abrupt manner. "Well, I mean, look, I'm the only guy to beat Uncle Howdy. I derailed all their momentum. He's gone, I won, they lost. Let's all have an emotional meltdown about it," Kross said. It is worth noting that neither Adam Pearce nor Nick Aldis has confirmed Wyatt Six move to SmackDown. With Karrion Kross seemingly going after Seth Rollins next, it all but confirms that WWE has a different direction for Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. Cody Rhodes opens up about an unscripted moment after Raw. Cody Rhodes wrestled in Dallas in the post-Raw dark match on January 20th. After the bout, he sent fans home happy as he opened up about an unscripted moment that took place in the very arena he was standing in. When Cody Rhodes returned to Raw after his WWE comeback at WrestleMania 38, he cut a promo in front of a hot crowd in Dallas. It was a mission statement where he revealed his goal after a 6-year absence. Many didn't know that his post-WrestleMania 38 promo on Raw was unscripted. After his victory in the dark match on January 20th, he told fans that his promo in Dallas on April 4th, 2022 was a mission statement. Nobody knew what he was going to say, and Cody Rhodes expressed his pride in having accomplished that mission. He even went on to give a lucky young fan a signed weighted belt, a moment captured by a fan on X. Triple H did not know about CM Punk's offensive line about a WWE legend on Raw. Expect the unexpected with CM Punk. The cult of personality always delivers surprises on the microphone. However, according to Vince Russo, his latest line about Hulk Hogan on Raw might not have been scripted. Punk announced himself for the Royal Rumble last week, and in the latest episode, Jackie Redmond interviewed him about his goals and aspirations for the WrestleMania season. The former WWE champion was at his fiery best as he notified other competitors in the Royal Rumble and promised to be the last survivor in the high-stakes match. Before he signed off, Punk threw a massive jab at Hulk Hogan, claiming he wouldn't hesitate to dump the Hulkster out of the ring if he showed up in the Rumble. The comment is even more interesting, considering how Hogan got booed during Raw's Netflix debut a couple of weeks ago. Here's what Punk said about Hogan on Raw. "You put Hulk Hogan in the Royal Rumble, I'll throw his Dusty A over the top rope, and I'll kill Hulkamania once and for all." While specifically reacting to the line on Legion of Raw, Vince Russo was certain that none of WWE's high-ranking officials, including Triple H and Nick Khan, would have known of Punk's line. CM Punk has a history of dropping eyebrow-raising statements that don't seem pre-planned. Russo believes that's what happened on Raw. I don't think Paul Levesque, Triple H, or Nick Khan or anybody else knew what CM Punk's promo was going to be. I don't think they had any knowledge of that whatsoever. CM Punk means business, and will go through anybody to achieve his dream of headlining WrestleMania in a World Championship main event. CM Punk confirms when he will call in Paul Heyman's favor. WWE superstar CM Punk has seemingly settled all his feuds. Now, he is looking forward to adding more weight to his title of the best in the world by winning the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match. Interestingly, while speaking to fans on this week's edition of Raw, Punk seemingly revealed when he will be using the favor Paul Heyman owes him. The Second City Saint stepped up to help Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline in the men's War Games match against Solo Sikoa's Bloodline at the Survivor Series War Games PLE last November. However, the straight-edge superstar only chose to help the OTC to fulfill a personal request made by Paul Heyman. However, the Wiseman didn't get his former client's help for free, and the 59-year-old now owes CM Punk an undisclosed favor. This week on Raw, the Second City Saint explicitly mentioned during an interview with Jackie Redmond that he would call in a favor or two if needed during the Men's Royal Rumble match. Thus, the upcoming PLE is when Punk will likely unleash the ace up his sleeve to secure a major advantage to win the Rumble. The upcoming Men's Royal Rumble match will feature Roman Reigns for the first time since 2020. The head of the table has previously won the gimmick match in 2015 and is aiming to win it again this year. However, CM Punk could be holding the power to thwart the OTC from winning this year. Since Paul Heyman was unwilling to reveal what the best in the world had demanded when Reigns asked him before the Survivor Series War Games, it can be assumed that the stakes are high. The Second City Saint could ask the Wiseman to make his tribal chief forfeit from the Men's Royal Rumble match altogether. Punk could also ask Heyman to make Reigns eliminate himself in case the straight-edge superstar and the OTC are the last two participants. This would be a big blow to the Samoan wrestler's aspirations to win back the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns is currently after the undisputed WWE Universal title. The 39-year-old will likely challenge Cody Rhodes if he wins the Men's Royal Rumble. However, if the favor Paul Heyman owes CM Punk makes him lose the 30-man match, the OTC may switch his target and go after CM Punk instead. WWE has already teased a big feud waiting to erupt between both superstars. The company may book the Second City Saint to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 41 if he wins the Men's Royal Rumble. The OTC could then become the #1 contender later and face Punk, possibly at the 2025 SummerSlam. There is a chance that Roman Reigns may face The Rock at WrestleMania 41 instead of battling in a title match. Thus, this could perfectly blend with Punk and Reigns facing each other for the World Heavyweight Championship at a later date. Triple H takes the World Championship off Gunther. Former WWE champion Triple H plays a vital role in the Stamford-based promotion. He is the company's CCO and oversees all of World Wrestling Entertainment's creative decisions. This also gives him the power to crown champions and remove titles from stars, and it appears the game could soon strip a major champion of their title. Gunther has held the World Heavyweight Champion since SummerSlam 2024, doing a perfect job as a heel champion. His name is among the top bad guys in the Stamford-based promotion right now. The Ring General is all set to defend his title against Jey Uso this weekend at Saturday night's Main Event 2025. Entering the championship bout, Gunther is a heavy favorite to retain his World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso. In the event of a sensational turn, Triple H could pull off one of the biggest upsets of the year by taking the world title from the Ring General and putting it on Main Event Uso. In a shocking twist, Goldberg could interfere in the match and cost Gunther his title. This could lead to a potential retirement bout between them at WrestleMania 41. Having the 37-year-old superstar as Man's final opponent would be a great option, and the former Universal Champion costing the Austrian star his bout could be a perfect and thrilling start to their saga. In November 2024, Gunther had an engaging conversation with La Previa. During the exchange, the host asked about his heated altercation with Goldberg at Bad Blood 2024, where they almost collided in the center of the ring. The World Heavyweight Champion revealed that management had requested him to be part of Triple H, revealing the new Crown Jewel title ahead of the Crown Jewel PLE, where he admitted he was clueless about Goldberg's presence in the arena. When he saw the WCW legend seated in the front row, he thought about having some fun, which eventually triggered Dom on. He further expressed that if the Hall of Famer decided to step inside the squared circle again, he could teach him, Goldberg, a lesson. Goldberg, doesn't seem able to take things lightly. I tried to lighten the mood a little bit. If push comes to shove, and he thinks he wants to get back into the business and wrestle again, then I'm happy to teach him a lesson, he said.